always going to be a tight game. I think most of those games were, the midweek games, and everybody is a little fatigued. There are certain moments where you need to be focused, and there are certain moments where you can win games, and it's usually in your box or the opponent's box. And those are the thought we were started the game fine. Tactically, everything was sort of a wash or a push. And I think we, with the ball, could have created more in the first half, but we're too rushed, impatient. Our choice making of passes was oftentimes too risky without enough reward. So the risk versus reward ratio was out of balance. And, it didn't hurt us, really. And we didn't concede much defensively, so that was fine. I thought we had some good pressing moments as well, which was an improvement from previous weeks. And then it was just a silly defensive error to go down 1-0 at the half. I think we've seen that before in recent weeks, and that's impossible to win games in a fatigue state at this stage of the season if you're making errors like that. And I thought the controlled attack and amount of pressure in half two was good. And the goal we scored was exactly what we showed the boys at half. Staying patient, finding one more pass, getting off the edge, going from side to side, not just jamming it up the middle. And it ended up working for a good goal. And I think there were more solutions like that out there that we chose not to find. And that's the only disappointing thing in my eyes, really. We had a feeling it would be tight tonight, and it could be a 1-0 game, but an error made it 1-1.
As a follow-up, when you made the subs, we saw a difference in the team. How much of it was about personnel?
It's always a mix. I think we would have to go into each sub. I think there's also I think fatigue and getting fresh legs in a game like that, where Austin traveled today. They had some issues yesterday. So we knew they would be fatigued. They also played on the weekend away. And I think it's more a case of fresh legs, but also David Martinez was good when he came in. So it's nice to have him back and functioning and made a difference. So getting Timmy back out there after a little setback as well was good. And I think it's a combination of the individuals, but also just fresh legs.
Coach, after all the matches concluded today, LAFC now controls their own destiny again in the West, owning the tiebreaker over Carson, 6 points back, 2 games. Does that change or add to the message or narrative at all through the rest of the season in MLS Cup or MLS matches?
No, I don't think we have the luxury to think that far ahead. There's still another very important competition we're in the final of the Open Cup next Wednesday, and so I think that is also, of course, a priority for us. And I think we have to take it really game by game. And once that is done, then I think we can try to think about all the scenarios. But for now, we need to gather as many points as possible. If we can get the full amount of points in Dallas, that would be great, and maybe make up for some missed points tonight. But once that game is played, all of our focus and energy will be on Kansas City.
Steve, on chance creation, we've had some conversations about it. You still feel comfortable with how you getting entries into the box, and is it enough for you?
Not tonight. No, I don't think there were enough. I don't have the number in front of me, so I'm going off just my at times failing memory. So I don't think there were enough clear box entries. I'm sure there were a plethora of moments where the ball is flying in the box, whether it's a set piece or a cross or a second ball, but nothing in control and how we want it. The goal was exactly how we want it and how we draw it up, but not enough. And I think that comes from a lack of patience in the opponent's half and in the final third. Not finding the extra pass, trying to force windows that aren't there. And that was the message at half, and thankfully that improved. But you usually break teams down when the amount of box entries increases and the amount of moments we find in behind their back line increases. And we didn't have enough, and that it had a lot to do with our decision making in our passing tonight.
I think if people are looking at Giroud, they're probably saying they want to see more out of him. But of course, you don't score tonight without his touch to Edward. So he's obviously making an impact on the field. But where do you think that he is not connecting with the players, or the players aren't connecting with him? And how do you move past that?
Yeah, it's always a collective effort. Attackers at LAFC always profit from the rest of the group, and if we are not predictable in our passing and not consistent with our passing in the areas and positions we ask the players to do it in, then our attackers will not be put in good positions to score. Even a Denis and a Matty are not getting in the right spots currently, and that has to do with rhythm, that has to do with predictability with your teammates, and ball movement, and that's all very important stuff. Those are things that I have to see. Other people don't have the responsibility to see that when things are clicking, but when things are clicking for our attackers, all of the work that goes into their chances is important work on the training pitch, and a lot of discipline from our midfielders, from our defenders. And that is right now misfiring a bit.
Just one more. With the Open Cup coming Wednesday, how do you look at this Dallas game? You just go for the points, or do you prioritize the potential to win a cup next week?
I need a little time to think about that. We need to see how our players recover from this game, see what kind of mood they're in the morning, and we'll decide. We'll talk about Dallas then.